Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for no videos. There just seems to be hardly any news really coming up. It's kind of a dry spell today. Interesting for on a Thursday. But I do have some news, and it's the Twitter files, the Russiagate files. And it seems to be quite interesting, so let's get into it. The Russiagate files. 1. The fake tale of Russian bots and the release memo hashtag. A crucial moment in a years-long furor, the Democrats denounced a report about flaws in the Trump-Russia investigation, saying it was boosted by Russian bots and trolls. Twitter officials were aghast at finding no evidence of Russian influence. We are feeding congressional trolls, not any significant activity connected to Russia, putting the cart before the horse, assuming this is propaganda bots. Twitter warned politicians and media that not only lack evidence, let's repeat that. Twitter warned politicians and media that they not only lacked evidence, but had evidence that accounts weren't Russian and were roundly ignored. On January 18th, 2018, Republican Devin Nunes submitted a classified memo to the House Intel Committee dealing abuses by the FBI and obtaining FISA surveillance authority against Trump-connected figures, including the crucial role played by the infamous Steele dossier. The Nunes assertions would virtually all be verified in a report by Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horitz in December 2019. Nonetheless, national media in January and early February of 2018 denounced the news report in all the identical language, calling it a joke. On January 23rd, 2018, Senator Dianne Feinstein? I don't know Feinstein. And Congressman Adam Schiff, DA, Democrats in California, published an open letter saying the hashtag gained the immediate attention and resistance of social media accounts linked to Russian influence operations. Feinstein, Schiff said the Nunes memo distorts classified information. Note, they didn't call it incorrect. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal followed suit, publishing a letter saying, "We find it reprehensible that Russian agents have so eagerly manipulated innocent Americans." Feinstein, Schiff, Blumenthal, I'm so sorry I pronounced that wrong. I even have a friend that has a last name like that too. And media members all pointed to the same source. The Hamilton 68 dashboard was created by a former FBI counterintelligence official Clint Watts under the auspices of the Alliance for Securing Democracy. The dashboard, which featured a crude picture of Vladimir Putin deviously blowing evil red Twitter birds into the atmosphere, was vague in how it reached its conclusions. Inside Twitter, executives panned Watts, Hamilton 68, and the Alliance for Securing Democracy two key complaints. Hamilton 68 seemed to be everyone's only source, and no one was checking with Twitter. I encourage you to be skeptical of Hamilton 68's take on this, which, as far as I can tell, is the only source for these stories, said Global Policy Communications Chief and future White House and NSC spokesperson Emily Horn. All the sources based on Hamilton, said Trust and Safety Chief Yo Roth. If ASC isn't going to fact-check with us, we should feel free to correct the record on their work, said Policy VP Carlos Monge. Roth couldn't find any Russian connection to release the memo at all. I just reviewed the accounts that posted the first 50 tweets with release the memo, and none of them show any signs of affiliation to Russia. We investigated, found that engagement was overwhelmingly organic and driven by VITs, very important tweeters, including WikiLeaks and Congressman Steve King. A staffer for Diffie, Feinstein, agreed it would be helpful to know how Hamilton 68 goes by the process by which they decide an account is Russian, but only after Feinstein published her letter about Russian influence. When Twitter spoke to a Blumenthal staffer, they tried to wave him off, because we don't believe these are bots. Added another, it might be worth nudging Blumenthal staffer that it could be in his boss's best interest not to go out there because it could come back to make him look silly. One Twitter executive even tried to negotiate implying an undisclosed future PR concession if Bellamenthal would lay off on this. It seems that there are other wins we can offer him. Bellamenthal published his letter anyway. Executives eventually grew frustrated over what they saw as a circular process presented with claims of Russian activity even when denied, led to more claims. They expressed this explicitly to Bellmenthal's camp, I can't say that word, saying Twitter spent a lot of resources on this request and the reward from Bellmenthal shouldn't be around after a round of requests. We can't do a user notice each time this happens. Eventually, Twitter staff realized Bellmenthal isn't looking for real and nuanced solutions, but just wants to get credit for pushing us further. Ultimately, senior executives talked about feeding congressional trolls. Compared to their situation to the children's book, if you give a mouse a cookie. In the story, if you give a mouse a cookie, he'll want a glass of milk, which will lead to a wave of other exhausting requests, at the end of which he'll want a glass of milk and one more cookie. The metaphor for the endless rush of requests was so perfect, one exec wrote, "I'm legit embarrassed I didn't think of that first." Despite universal internal conviction that there were no Russians in the story, Twitter went on to follow a slavish pattern of not challenging Russia's claims on the record. Outside counsel from DC-connected firms like DeVosier and Plimpton advised Twitter to use language like, with respect to particular hashtags, we take seriously any activity that may represent an abuse of our platform. So, it goes on. As a result, reporters from the AP to Politico to NBC to Rolling Stone evidence to hammer the Russian bots seemed despite a total lack of evidence. Russians weren't just blamed for release of the memo, but Schumer shutdown, Parkland shooting, and even gun control now to widen the divide, according to the New York Times. Schumer shutdown and release of the memo, their internal guidance, was both hashtags to appear to be organically trending. NBC, Politico, AP, Times, Business Insider, and other media outlets who played up the Russian bot story, even Rolling Stone, all declined to comment for this story. The staffs of Feinstein, Schiff, and Blumenthal also declined comment. Who did comment? Devin Nunes. Schiff and the Democrats falsely claimed Russians were behind the release of the memo hashtag, all my investigative work, by spreading the Russian collusion hoax. They investigated one of the greatest outbreaks of mass collusion in U.S. history. This release of the memo episode is just one of many in the Twitter files. The Russiagate scandal was built on the craving dishonesty of politicians and reporters, who for years ignored the absence of data to fictional scare headlines. For more, watch blah 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 blah. Twitter had no editorial input on the story. Searches were carried out by third parties, so the documents could be limited. So, as what we all suspected, right, guys? We all suspected that the Russiagate was being pushed by the Democrats, being specifically being told by the Democrats in a lie, and this honestly just seems to have been happening. We figured this out already. This is just pointing out that we were not lying. So, yeah, I think that the mere fact is that these of course, media outlets lied. They continue to lie. They always continue to lie. And this is a reality that we have been seeing. I think we're going to start to see a massive pushback onto what's happening here, because I don't think it's going to really be going all that well for the Democrats. The Democrats have been pushing lies, dividing the country, and potentially even starting hurting our relations with Russia and many other things because of their lies. I think the biggest party we should really be worried about is some people in the Republican Party and pretty much a majority of all Democrats. I think what we need to do, and some of these people need to be put in prison. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care.